up? How y'all doing, man? What's good? What's good? What's good? If you ain't got your golden ticket, you better get that. If you ain't got your golden ticket, you gonna need that. What's the golden ticket? Access to my private community, access to my private zones, the private lessons, the private classrooms. If you ain't got that, you gonna need that. I don't know how long I'm finna be live. What's going on, fine line? First in the room, what's good? I don't know how long I'm finna be live. We gonna see what's going on, Big Mama. What's up, Dad? What's going on, bro? Yeah, I don't even know how long we finna be on here, but let's kick it for a little bit. Let's talk for a little bit. Let's talk about the fact that you could be doing have anything you desire. Appreciate the likes, Dad. Let's talk about the fact that your only limit in life is your own imagination. If you can think it, you can do it. But you gotta be able to see it in your mind. If you can't see it in your mind, it's over with. You can't hold it in your hands. But the good news is you can learn to see anything here. You can learn to hold the concept of anything here, but it's going to take practice. It's going to take willpower. This is where you use willpower. You use willpower to program your mind. You do not use willpower to control your body. I'm finna give y'all the keys, man. I'm finna give y'all the stuff that other people be holding back on. I'm finna give you the stuff they put behind the paywall right here for free 99. You do not use willpower to make yourself go to the gym. You use willpower to control your mind and think in a way where it becomes in your nature to go to the gym. You use willpower to say, I'm not gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about this. You use willpower to say, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on this. And as you start controlling your focus, as you start controlling the images and the sounds that pop up in your mind, watch how your behavior follows that. Watch how your behavior follows your mind. Where the mind goes, the body follows. What's going on, D? If you could think it, you could do it. I'm finna make this real simple, man. I feel like people are really complicating self development. People are really complicating winning. The psychology of winning is not It's not complicated. The psychology of high performance, the psychology of creating the life you want is not complicated. The key is to realize that your internal state is not responding to reality. It's responding to your narrative around reality. And when you learn how to discipline your mind and control your narrative around reality, your endocrine system and your nervous system is going to start responding differently. And when your endocrine system and your nervous system comes out of fight or flight, when you get out of your sympathetic nervous system, get down in that parasympathetic nervous system, when you stop releasing all that oxytocin and start releasing dopamine and serotonin and all these feel good chemicals, you're gonna start doing good on accident. You're gonna start working on your business on accident. Your biggest problem is you don't know what you want. You're doing affirmations, but you're doing affirmations from under the influence of what you don't want. You're doing affirmations, but in the back of your mind, what's giving birth to the affirmation is what you don't want. I need you to take one last good look at what you don't want and ask yourself one question. One question. What's the one question, Coach J? What would I rather have? What would I rather have? When you learn how to stop getting hypnotized by what you don't want and start saying, what do I want? And whatever the answer to that is, get hypnotized by that. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Where your mind goes, your body follows. When you start locking your mind on success, when you start wrapping your mind around entrepreneurship, when you start wrapping your mind around your desired outcome, you're going to move towards it on accident. So, to wrap all of that up, this is what I'm saying. If you figure out what you want and you think about it long enough and hard enough, you're going to do it on accident. Full stop. This is simple as it get. If you figure out what you want, that's step one. Clarity. You can't get what you want till you know what you want. If you're out here without a destination, you liable to end up anywhere. Rule number one: I can't get what I want until I know what I want. So if I'm ever gonna have the life I want, if I'm ever gonna have the business I want, if I ever gonna have the relationship I want, I gotta define it. TikTok don't get to define it for me. TV don't get to define it for me. Music don't get to define it for me. I gotta sit down and decide what I want, independent of everybody else. You can't get what you want until you know what you want. Knowing what you don't want is not the same thing as knowing what you want. Appreciate them tabs, D. Knowing what you don't want is not the same thing as knowing what you want. Knowing that you don't want your business to fail is not the same thing as knowing you want to thrive in business. You want this business doing $15,000 a month. You want this business to have a steady flow of incoming counselors, customers, as well as you want a value ladder that's constantly giving birth to customer ascension. You see the difference in I don't want to go out of business and actually knowing what you want, having a measurable goal that you can start to move towards. Your subconscious mind is unlimited. We talking about the part of you to make your heart, to make your lungs lung, to make your kidney. We're talking about the part of you that turns your food into substance that you can use. You think this part of you can't start a business? The problem is you got to learn how to start telling it what to do and stop telling it what not to do. My background is in clinical hypnotherapy. As hypnotists, we take a full course load on how to properly build a suggestion. Notice we don't call them orders, we call them hypnotic suggestions. You don't boss the subconscious mind around. You use emotion and feeling to get it to excited about what you want and it starts to move towards it on accident. And that's what calibration is about. Calibration is about feeding your conscious desire to your subconscious mind. But while understanding that your conscious mind speaks in terms of logic, reason, and analysis, while your subconscious mind speaks in feeling and emotion. So you have to really learn how to speak both of those languages. You got to learn how to speak to logic and reason when you're dealing with your conscious mind. But when it's time to get the subconscious mind on board, the 98%, you got to start to talk about feeling and emotion. How y'all doing tonight, though, man? I don't know. I got a burst of energy, and I decided to go live. So we got a new crowd in here. What's going on, D? Not this your first time in here? Say something. Let's talk. Let's chop it up. Let's get real with this. Let's talk about how to turn thoughts into things. Talk about how to take the ideas out of your head, the desires out of your heart, and turn them into something tangible. Turn them into something you can taste, touch, feel, hear, and see. Your only limit in life is your own imagination. The only thing that can stop you is you. A disease can't stop you. A diagnosis can't stop you. A divorce can't stop you. An eviction notice can't stop you. Now, you might focus on those things and decide to quit, but make no mistake, that didn't stop you. You quit. The diagnosis didn't stop you as you were focusing on the diagnosis. You decided to quit. The market being oversaturated didn't stop you. That's what you was focusing on when you decided to quit. But just like you could quit, you can start back. You got to take control of your mind. I'm telling you, when you learn how to control your mind, you will be successful in accident. When you learn how to set a goal and put your attention on that goal, learn how to see that goal in here before it shows up out there. Learn how to feel the sensations of that goal in here before it shows up out there. You become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. Then from that unstoppable place, good ideas find you. The new friends, the customers, the relationships and the circumstances and the money, everything that you need to connect those dots find you when you learn how to lock your focus on what you want. You gotta have it in here before you can have it out there. When you look at the word manifest means to make obvious to the mind. The word manifest doesn't mean to hope for, it doesn't mean to wish for, it means to make it obvious to your mind. Because your mind doesn't respond to reality. Your mind responds to your narrative around reality. So you got to start feeding a new narrative to your subconscious mind. That's what reprogramming your mind is all about. Changing your what we call an auto suggestion. What's an auto suggestion? It's the suggestions that you give to yourself on accident. It's that internal dialogue. Does that internal dialogue believe in you? It don't matter if nobody else believes in you. If that voice inside of your head don't believe in you, you can hang it up. You got to reprogram that voice. But before you can reprogram, you got to get clear about what you want because you don't know how to program it until you know what the outcome is you want. You got to know that outcome. Success requires an outcome. Success is not an accident. It requires an outcome. Guarantee you, they didn't build Apple on accident. They didn't build Coca-Cola on accident. Okay, they didn't build Google on accident. Somebody had an idea, somebody had a plan, somebody had some clarity, and they set a goal out in front of them that they started calibrating towards. Okay, changing your life is going to require clarity. If you don't got the golden ticket, the golden tickets are free right now. We usually sell the golden tickets for $1,200 per year. The golden tickets are free right now. Go to iCoachBosses.com, iCoachBosses.com, and get your golden ticket. We actually got a meeting tomorrow. We usually meet on Fridays, but Friday is Valentine's Day, so this week we meet on Thursdays. But we got a Zoom meeting tomorrow for the people with the golden ticket. Get your golden ticket, man. It's free. You get to come to the meetings. You get access to the classroom. You get access to the community. Get your golden ticket. What's up, Mr. Newton? How you doing? What's up, Eagle Eyes? But the message in here don't change, guys. You can be, do, and have anything you desire. If you can think it, you can do it. If you think about it long enough and hard enough, you'll mess around and do it on accident. That's why they tell race drivers, don't look at the wall. Because they know if you look at that wall and you focus on that wall, you're going to hit that wall. You got to stop focusing on what you don't want. You got to stop getting on the phone talking about what you don't want. You got to lock your attention on what you would like to have. And as you start focusing on what you want, as you start getting your imagination and trying on what you want, I'm telling you, all of that stuff in the middle, you're going to find it on accident. Just like when you're thinking about what you don't want and you focusing on what you don't want, you don't got to try to get sad. You don't got to try to feel overwhelmed. You don't got to try to feel anxious. That's the natural result of thinking about what you don't want. And you think you got an anxiety problem. No, you have a focus problem. That's how you designed as a human. You're supposed to feel anxious and nervous and overwhelmed when you're thinking about stuff you don't want. Start focusing on what you want and watch what happens to that anxiety. Start focusing on the outcome you want and watch how you become inspired on accident. Start putting your attention on the outcome you want and watch how you get motivated on accident. Start putting your attention on the outcome you want and watch how good ideas start finding you. That's how you designed to work. I got an anxious problem. I got a depression problem. You have a focus problem. You're supposed to feel bad when you focus on what you don't want. When you watch a sad movie, you don't got to try to feel sad. Just watch the movie. You watch a funny movie, you ain't got to try to laugh. Just watch the movie. You watch a scary movie, you ain't got to try to be scared. Just watch the movie. You figure out what you want, start focusing on what you want, start putting your attention on what you want, start daydreaming about what you want, start fantasizing about what you want. You're going to feel good on accident. You got to control your focus. You can't get what you want till you know what you want. After you know what you want, you got to focus on what you want. You got to stop living life from under the influence of what you don't want. You got to stop picking your new job from under the influence of not liking your old job. You got to stop picking the next relationship while you under the influence of not liking the old relationship. You got to get under the influence of what you want, then make your business plan. Appreciate you, Goddess. You got to get under the influence of what you want, then design your website. You got to get under the influence of what you want, then start backdating. You got to get under the influence of what you want and then go to the gym. You skipping a step when you just go to action. And you trying to use willpower to force yourself in action. No, you got to use willpower to recalibrate your mind. And when you get your mind recalibrated, you're gonna take new action on accident. Think about it. When you angry and you upset and you pissed off, you do rude on accident. You don't gotta try to be rude when you angry, upset, and pissed off. You do it on accident, right? When you become successful, you feel successful. You're gonna do successful on accident. But when you feel like a failure and nothing ever works for you, and it's always something, and you trying to do successful, it's not gonna work for you, sweetheart. Well, I read Think You Jay. You don't understand. I read Think You Grow Rich and I do my affirmations every day and I la da 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 and I did this and I did. I'm trying, man. Yeah, you tried, but you tried from under the influence of what you don't want. You trying, but you holding resentment in your heart. You trying, but you still like blaming somebody else. It's still not your fault. You trying, but as you trying, you justifying where you at. You defending where you stop defending it. Stop focusing on what do you want. Your only limit in life is your own imagination. If you can think it, you can do it. You can do it if you can think it. Now, if you can't think it, if you can't put your mind on it, if you can't hold your attention on it, you ain't got to worry about doing it. You got to hold it in your head before you can hold it in your hands. You got to hold it in your heart before you can hold it in your hands. Step one is getting clear about what you want and calibrating. When I say calibrate, you got to start thinking about it. You got to start putting your attention on it. You got to start feeling it. You got to start tasting it. You got to start touching it in here before it ever happens out there. Waiting on it to happen out there is going to cause you to procrastinate because it's not going to happen out there until it happens in here. Waiting on it to happen out there before you get excited, it's gonna cause you to become stagnant. It's gonna cause you to become depressed. It's gonna cause you to become anxious because it's not gonna happen out there until it happens in here. That's the magic of any coaching session, of any therapy session, of any like church service that you feel like transform. It got to change the way you feel. If it can change the way you feel, it'll change the way you act on accident. It got to change that internal representation of the problem. Good therapy don't change the problem. It changes the internal representation of the problem. Like, I don't care how good your therapist is, they can't undo your past. What they can do is help you to come up with a new internal representation for your past. They can have it represent something else to you. And that's going to change the way you feel. And when you feel different, you act different. How do you need to feel? How would you feel had you already become the version of yourself you need to be to do that thing that you really want to do? This is what we teach people how to do in these sessions. But that's the work. How do I need to feel? How would I feel if I was already that version of myself I desire to be? Start practicing that feeling. But Jay, how I'm gonna do it? Start practicing that feeling. As you start feeling different, you're gonna start coming up with different ideas on accident. The how gonna find you. But the how can't find you when you feel like a failure. And you feel like it ain't no more good men out there, or ain't no more good women out there. All the women are gold. The how can't find you when you focused on what you don't want. You got something called the Reticular Activation System, RAS. And what it does is it's at the base of the brain and it controls what's in your focus. It controls what's in your awareness because there's billions of things happening around you at any given time. Your reticular activation system says that's important. Get the conscious mind's attention about that. That's important. Get the conscious mind's attention about that. When you focus on failure, the reticular activation system find other examples of failure and say, hey, there go the thing we've been focusing on. Hey, here go another example of failure. Meanwhile, you're sitting beside success, but that's not what the reticular activation system is trained to. If I'm in the store with my daughter and we get separated and I go looking for my daughter, my reticular activation system will say, okay, we're looking for a little brown girl with a big puff ball, yellow sundress, jelly bean sandals. So my reticular activation system is going to narrow down the little brown girl, yellow sundress, jelly bean sandals, big puff ball. So it could be a guy that's like 10 feet tall. Any other time I'll see this guy and go, damn, he tall. But when reticular activation system look for little brown girl, yellow sundress, big puff ball, 10-foot tall guy just became invisible. It could be a really attractive woman. Any other time I see her, I go, God, she's gorgeous. But when I'm looking for my daughter, my reticular activation system shrinks down to little brown girl, big puff ball, yellow sundress, jelly bean samples. When you focused on failure, and all you talk about on the phone is failure and how you hate your job and what's not working in your life and what's wrong with your life, you could be standing next to success. You could be in the same room as success, but when the reticular activation system is trained to failure, you're going to look through success like a window. But I always say if it work in that direction, it'll work in that direction. But if you focus on success and you calibrate it to success, they could say it's a recession on CNN, but the reticular activation is going to look right through it. Y'all have a recession. I don't do recessions. When you focus on what you want, everybody else can be experiencing bad news. Everybody else's business can be going under. But when you calibrate it to success, your reticular activation system is going to look right through that failure and start finding solutions. You don't got to change your circumstance. You got to change your mind. And when you change your mind, you'll change your circumstance on accident. You don't got to change your body. You got to change your mind. You don't got to change your spouse. You got to change your mind. And when you change your mind, you're gonna change your spouse. Now that can either be they gonna change their mindset or vibrationally y'all gonna separate and they gonna move on and you gonna attract a new spouse. So you either gonna change your spouse or you gonna change your spouse. But you don't change your spouse by nagging your spouse. You change your spouse by nagging your mind, by rearranging your mind. You don't change your bank account by working hard. I'm not saying you're not gonna have to do some hard work, but the work is different when you calibrate it. I work 12 to 16 hours a day, but I'm doing the work that I'm calibrated to do so it don't feel like work. The work that I'm doing is recharging me because it's not work, it's play. Inspired work hit different. It's different when you're going to the gym because you got to, when you're going to the gym because you get to. It's different when you're making content because you got to versus making content because you get to. It's different when you're building the business because you got to, but versus building the building because you get to. When you do the mind work, like the so one of my favorite scriptures is faith without work is dead, People think that the work is physical, but the work is maintaining the faith. Because when you got the work, when you got the right kind of faith, the work feel like something you want to do. When you feel like it's gonna work, and you feel like you writing the New York Times bestseller, and you feel like it's gonna sell out and change lives all over the world, it ain't, oh man, I gotta go write this book. It's, oh man, I get to go change lives and build generational wealth for my family. Jay, you gonna shower today, man? Eventually, I'm working on my. I can't stop writing right now. I'm stuck. Does that make sense? When you working, when you taking the time to get clear about what you want, get calibrated to what you want, and you clear, calibrated, and confident in the outcome that you want to do the stuff in the middle. You want to do the stuff. You want to do the network. You want to do the studying. You ready to take the test. You excited to pull the all nighter. But when you uncalibrated, unclear about what you want, it's, oh man, let me do this. You gotta condition your mind. Well, the mind goes, the body follows. So stop asking yourself, what do you need to do to be successful? And let's start with, what do I need to feel successful? What do I need to think to start feeling successful right now? Because if you can learn how to feel successful, you'll start doing successful next. But when you don't feel successful and you try to do successful, you got a vibrational mismatch. We got to look at what we call be, do, have. There are some results in your life that you want to have, but before you can have those results, there are some things that you have to do. But before you do those things, there's a version of yourself that you have to become. But when you become that version of yourself, you will do those things on accident. And when you do those things on accident, guess what got to show up? The result. Does that make sense? If you be a little, you're gonna do a little, you're gonna have a little. But man, if you can learn how to be a lot, forget what's in the bank account. If you can learn how to be a lot, you're gonna do a lot on accident. Because if you be a lot, doing a lot is now in your nature. And when you do a lot, guess what? You gotta have a lot. Does that make sense? Be, do, have. You want to be, if you want to have riches, first thing you gotta do is you gotta become rich. Understand that becoming rich happens in here before it happens in your bank account. If it never happens in here and in here, it'll never make it to your bank account. Business got to exist in here before it can exist out there. The relationship got to exist in here before it exists out there. The new body that you want, you're gonna have to see it in here before you can see it out there. You got to build an image of it in your mind. But I keep saying this because it's true. If you think about it long enough and hard enough, you're gonna do it on accident. I was sitting on my couch not too long ago watching a movie. I just started thinking about going live. I think I want to go live. I think I want to go live. I think, yeah, I think I want to go live. I went live for a little bit this morning, but I feel like going live. I want to go. I'm thinking about going live. Like, but the movie is getting good too. But I'm thinking about going live. I want to go live. Then I decided I was going live, so I get up, go to the bathroom to pee before I go live. So I ain't got to stop streaming to go pee. I passed by the mirror. I say, "Damn, my hair all over my head." Oh well, I still want to go live. Once it was in my mind, it's something that I want to do now. You got to start putting your mind on what you don't want. Same way you get anxious on accident, same way you get overwhelmed on accident when you start thinking about that stuff that you don't like. When you start thinking about what you want, when you start thinking about your outcome, you start putting your attention on your outcome, you're gonna start finding yourself motivated. I don't know where this energy come from. You was thinking about what you wanted, and your endocrine system said, ooh, and your nervous system said, ooh, I want to play. You was thinking about what you want. Thinking about what you want energizes you. Thinking about what you want calibrates you to what you want. People who watch me stream a lot, y'all probably heard this story. I used to own a cleaning company going into COVID. I owned a cleaning company. This cleaning company was doing $20,000 a month easy. $20,000 a month was a slow month. But when COVID hit, all of our clients started to fire us and business went, ew. Okay? And I was pissed off. It was unfair. Why are these people scared? Why is the news and the media and the government scaring these people? This isn't fair. I don't have work for my employees. I was real clear and calibrated to what I didn't want. And the angrier I got, the worse it got. Then I had to, okay, what do I want? What you mean what I want? I want work for my employees to do. I want to get back to being the premier cleaning company in our city. I want us to have a waiting list. I want the money coming in. I want the money flow. As I was getting clear about what I want and starting to calibrate to what I want, starting to focus on what I want, good idea jumped into my head. Stop marketing the cleaning company as a luxury cleaning service. Start marketing the cleaning service as a disinfectant service. Simple idea, very, very simple idea. Within 2 weeks, we had a waiting list again. Within 2 weeks, I was doing interviews. I didn't have enough clears. But when I was calibrated to what I didn't want, I can only find bad ideas. I couldn't figure it out as I started to put my attention on what I want. I didn't say as I went to Barnes and Noble and got a new book. I didn't say when I got a new coach. I didn't say I went out and got a new business coach. I said I started thinking about what I want. I started thinking in terms of what I wanted. When I started to focus on what I want, I didn't find a good idea. A good idea found me. I didn't find the solution found me. You got to understand that big problems have big solutions. The bigger the problem, the bigger the solution. So if right now in your life, you got a big problem in your life. That means it's a big solution with your name on it. But in order to attract this solution, in order to allow this solution into your mind, you're gonna have to take your attention off of this big problem. Okay? I don't care if it's a big health problem. I don't care if it's a big money problem. I don't care if it's a big marital problem. I don't care what type of problem. It's the bigger the problem, the bigger the solution. But in order to allow this really big solution in your life, you're gonna have to stop focusing on the problem. Focusing on the problem is gonna grow the problem. Where attention goes, energy flows. It's time for you to stop sending your energy into the problem and free up your energy for the solution. If your hands full of the problem, what hand you gonna use to pick up the solution? You working on the problem is not the same thing as working on the solution. I work with companies all over the country. They call me in to help them when they stuck on problems. We do our initial meetings usually an hour long meeting. In these meetings, say, hey, let's talk about the problem for 5 minutes. And I set a timer on my phone and we talk about the problem for 5 minutes. Once that timer goes off, we spend in the last 55 minutes of the meeting talking about solutions. And there's lots of times where there is no second meeting necessary because you'll be surprised what 55 minutes of success oriented thinking, solution based thinking will do, especially when we got multiple minds in the room. And I very rarely come up with the solutions. It's the people who are already on their payroll that come up with solutions. I'm just in there to keep focus on the solution. Well, Emily wouldn't have, we not here to, is Emily fired or does Emily still work here? She still works here? Okay, Emily, all is forgiven. Solution. That's the role that I play in the meeting. I keep people solution oriented. And we'll lead a meet and we'll be close up to me, Jay. Thanks, man. We couldn't have did this without you. Yes, you could have. Yes, you definitely could have. Thank you for the check, but you didn't. All I did in the meeting was kept us focused on the outcome that we wanted. And every time you tried to go into the problem, I say, back to the solution. Back to the solution. Because ain't nothing over there under that problem besides anxiety, procrastination, anger, hurt. It ain't no positive emotions in that problem. All of your desires is in the solution. I'm telling you, most of the people when I first started working with them, their biggest problem is they don't know what they want. They only know what they don't want. And that is one of my biggest downfalls, not staying focused. So when it was out of your awareness, it was a problem. But now that you're aware of it, it's a choice. And we're gonna make a new one. So what does the new version of you, the version because the version of you yesterday might not have been aware of that, but now that you're aware of that, what new choice we gonna make? That's the old downfall. But this new version of you, with this new clarity and this new realization, you finna calibrate to something else. So instead of deep diving into that and trying to figure out why you do that, we're gonna say, okay, what would you rather do? And as you calibrate to that, the old answers about why you do that gonna reveal themselves as you heal yourself. The trauma gonna reveal itself as you heal yourself. I don't know why people think we gotta break it down into two separate stages. The clarity is gonna get the answers. And once we move the hurt and the pain and the rejection, you gonna notice your own unconscious pattern in what you was doing. And to get all tangled up, what do you want? What is missing is a umbrella to put it under. Because too much information without a well-formed outcome is confusion. Confusion. That's all you can get out of it. I know a lot. I meet a lot of people with more degrees than a thermometer, but they got so much information that they don't know how to compile it. What they was missing is a goal. If you get a goal, you can say, okay, this degree was useless, this degree was useless, this degree is useless, but this one right here, this is the one with the information I need. When you're trying to figure out how to use information without an income, I mean without an outcome, income outcome. Hey, but when you're trying to figure out how to use all this information without a desired outcome, you don't know what to do. What do you want? What's your desired outcome? And as we figure out the clarity and we calibrate to the clarity, third C is confidence. They only let me put two of them up there. But clarity plus calibration equals confidence. And when you become confident, that's when we figure out the how. We don't figure out the how before we get confident. We don't figure out the how. Step one is clarity. Step one is where you figure out what you want. It's not where you figure out how to get it. That's two separate steps. Step one is about figuring out what I want. What's going on, cuz? After I know what I want, step two is to calibrate to what I want. I'm gonna keep calibrating. What's calibration? Putting my attention on it, focusing on it. What's up, Latasha? I'm gonna keep calibrating over and over again. Fear and anxiety try to come up, I'm gonna calibrate. Self doubt come up, I'm gonna calibrate. The person who I thought was gonna support me and believe in me don't believe in me, I'm gonna calibrate. Not calibrate to them, I'm gonna calibrate to what I want. You gotta learn how to keep calibrating to what you want. Imagine if you at home and your spouse walks in the house and your spouse is pissed off about something and they trying to pick a fight with you and they say something kind of bark at you and you hear what they say, you get under the influence of what they say, and you bark right back. Now imagine what happened if they said what they said, they barked at you, but before you responded back, you say, "What do I want?" Like I'm gonna use me as an example. If my girl walk in here and she is having a rough day and she clearly like she's looking for a fight, she's not feeling good, and she bark at me and say something, I'm gonna say, "Okay, what do I want? I want my home environment light. I want it chill. I want to have some fun. I want to play. I want to indulge in some adult activity later tonight. I'm gonna take a brief second. I'm gonna think about what I want, and mentally, I'm gonna go into what I want, and I'm gonna respond to her from under the influence of what I want. It's one of the most hypnotic things you can do. So she gonna bark at me, and she gonna say something, and my initial reaction is gonna be, "Hey, I'm not one of these kids. Who you think you talking?" That's gonna be my initial response. Like, "Hey, why you yelling at me?" Go into defense. But I'm gonna say, what do I want? I want to have a little fun, chill a little bit, put the kids to bed, then we go to bed. That's what I want. I'm gonna take just a second to get under the calibration of that. And I'm gonna respond and say, "Come here, what's going on with you? Sit on my lap. Who asked I need to go with? Who got my baby this upset?" Next thing you know, she's laughing and she's calibrated to what I'm calibrated to. You got to start calibrating on purpose. We got to stop letting people calibrate us. I need you to understand that just because somebody offered an offense don't mean that you got to be offended. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be offended. I'm not saying you can't ever get mad again. I'm saying that you don't got to get mad. You could take your time and say, "What do I want?" Just because your boss been an asshole don't mean you got to spend the rest of your day upset. Just because your partner might be in a bad mood don't mean you got to spend the rest of your day upset. Just because you had to deal with a rude customer don't mean that you got to spend the rest of your day upset. What do I want? Because what's gonna happen is when something rude happens, you gonna get on the phone. Let me tell you about this motherfucker at the office today. They had me, yeah, man, they had me absolutely. Now you're talking about it and you still calibrate to it. Your blood pressure is up over something that happened 3 hours ago. Your endocrine system is releasing all these negative chemicals over something that happened 3 hours ago. And this job gonna kill me. No, you gonna kill you because you not disciplining your thinking. Somebody might have broke up with you. Somebody might have broke your heart. They broke your heart once, but when you replaying it every day, you breaking your heart over and over again. They broke your heart once, you broke it 1,000 times because you're not controlling your mind. You're not using your willpower. So I'm not gonna think about that. I'm gonna think about this. I know you might have lost everything, but you lost everything once. You replaying it in your mind over and over again. What do you want? What do you want? The thing that's stopping you from having what you want is not knowing what you want. Imagine if you got in a taxi and the driver say, "Where we going?" You say, "Don't take me to the mall. I hate the mall." "Yeah, man. Last time I went to the mall, I got robbed. I do not like the mall. And them shoes too expensive. Who they think paying $300 for one pair? I don't like the mall. I hate the mall. You go to the mall, you stupid. I don't go to the mall. I'm not giving no people my money." Man, if you don't get out my damn taxi, where do you want to go? What do you want? You gonna just sit in the taxi and talk about where you don't want to go? That's crazy, right? The taxi did not come to take you where you don't want to go. The taxi is there to take you where you want to go. If you wouldn't do it in the back of a taxi, don't do it in your life. Stop walking around focusing on what you don't want. Stop walking around talking about, dreaming about, journaling about what you don't want. What do you want? My whole life changed when I started thinking about what I wanted. Thinking about what I want. When I started thinking about what I want, I started listening to new podcasts on accident. I started reading new books on accident. I started finding new friends on accident. I started coming up with new ideas on accident when I started thinking about what I wanted. I used to be in the military. I hated being in the military. I couldn't grow my beard, couldn't wear my nose ring, couldn't grow my hair, couldn't grow my earrings. I could not do what I wanted to do. Couldn't live where I wanted to live, couldn't wear what I wanted to wear. My money was connected to the stripes on my shoulder, not my creativity and passion. I didn't like it. And for a real long time, I would talk about it all the time. Man, I can't wait to get up out of here. I can't stay here being here. That was a lot of the conversation I was having. And as long as I was having that conversation, I was re-enlisted. I was going on TDYs. I was going on the book. I was being in the military. Everything started to change when I said, I can't do this no more, man. I want to grow my hair. I want to grow my beard. I want to wear my nose ring. I want to wear my earrings. I want to be me. I want to wear what I want to wear. I want to live where I want to live. I want to make as much money as I can imagine. I don't want my money connected to these stripes. I want my money connected to my passion. As I started talking about what I wanted, I started to feel different. Still had the uniform on, but I felt different. Still enlisted, but I felt different. When I started feeling different, I started acting different. Eventually, I started acting so different. My commander called me in his office. Not my first sergeant, not my shop chief. My commander called me to his office. He said, "You don't want to be here, do you?" I said, "Respectfully, no, sir." He said, "Sign this." Sign this. I was a civilian about 3 months later under honorable conditions. I had become such an entrepreneur. I had become such a motivator, such an inspirer that I had started teaching workshops on base about entrepreneurship. And I was talking to other people, man, you ain't got to re-enlist. You can do this, you can do this. There's other stuff out there. You've been here for 6 years. You ain't got nothing to show for but some joints and some Camaros. They say, hey, get that nigga out of here. get him out of here. I had morphed into something else because I had started thinking about what I want. I didn't do nothing wrong, but he not a soldier. Get him out of here. He's an entrepreneur. Let him go entrepreneur. He only got a year left. Get him out of here early. Let him go. When you start thinking about what you want, things gonna start morphing before your eyes. Your life gonna start unfolding in new ways. New ideas gonna start finding you. New energy gonna start finding you. That book you've been trying to find a name for, the idea for that name gonna jump in the head. That business you've been trying to start up, the idea is gonna find you. But in order for that to happen, you gotta become a vibrational match for what you want. Jay, how do I become a vibrational match for what I want? You start focusing on it. You start putting your attention on it. You stop talking about what you don't want, and you start talking about what you would like to have. I hope I'm making it simple enough, man. I'm not trying to make this complex at all. The key to getting what you want is figuring out what you want, doing what I call calibrating to what you want, putting your attention on it, focusing on it, thinking about it, falling asleep thinking about it, figuring out exactly what you want, not how to do it. Figure out what you want, get calibrated to what you want, keep calibrating until you accidentally become confident in what you want. After we become confident, that's when we start figuring out the how. You don't start working on the how without the confidence, because not knowing the how will suppress the confidence that you need to get the momentum to get started. Step one is to figure it out. What do I want? Calibrate to it. Keep calibrating until you become confident. Clarity plus calibration equals confidence. That's the confidence formula. Clarity plus calibration equals confidence. If you want to be confident, first thing you got to do is get clear. Confidence requires clarity. Confidence is your belief in your ability to achieve a specific outcome, right? If you don't have a specific outcome, how do you conjure up belief in self to get it? You got to have that specific outcome. Not wanting to be poor is not an outcome. Not wanting to be fat is not an outcome. Not wanting to be in a toxic relationship is not an outcome. What do you want? When people come to me, I don't care what the issue is. You coming to me in my office for? First thing I'm gonna say is, what do you want? Hey Jay, I gotta quit smoking, man. What do you want? Well, my doctor say, I don't care what your doctor said. What do you want? Well, my wife said, I don't care what your wife said. What do you want? I know it sounds harsh, but your wife already said that. So if her saying that was gonna make you quit, you wouldn't be sitting in my office. Your doctor already said that to you. You already processed what he said. So if that was the leverage that you needed to quit, you wouldn't be sitting in my office. The fact you're just sitting in my office lets me know you're not clear about what you want. What do you want? I just told you I want to quit smoking. Listen, that's not what you want. Why do you want to quit smoking? What's the reasoning behind wanting to quit smoking? Jay, I got a 3-year-old daughter, man. And one day she gonna get married, and if I don't put these fucking cigarettes down, I'm not gonna be there to walk her down the aisle, man. I don't want her uncle walking her down the aisle. I don't want no stepdad walking my. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, now we know what you want. Now I got the leverage that I need to help you quit smoking. We clear about what you want. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna help you get calibrated to what you want. When you get calibrated to walking your daughter down the aisle, when you get calibrated to having the stamina and the energy to play with your daughter and to be around for your family, you're gonna put the cigarettes down on accident. You're gonna become a non-smoker on accident. Because now you calibrated to what you was trying to calibrate to quit smoking. That's stressing you the hell out, making you pick up even more cigarettes. That's not what you want. That's what you think you gotta do to get what you want. What do you want? You don't want a pile of money. What do you want? You want freedom. You want the ability to tell people no. You want the ability to say, hey, I don't need this job. Shove it. I'm not coming. I'm not doing it. You want choice in the matter. You want to live what you want to live. You want to drive what you want to drive. You want to do what you want to do when you do it. Now, when you calibrate and get rich, when getting rich ain't what you want, why do you want to be rich? That's what you got to calibrate to. When you get calibrated to that, you're going to get rich on accident. I just want my lash business to take off. Why you want to do lashes? I know why you want to do lashes. You saw a girl on Instagram doing it. She was getting to the bag. You want the bag, so you think you got to do lashes to get to the bag. So now you trying to find confidence and the energy and the motivation to do lashes when you never want to do lashes. So we calibrating to the wrong thing, and the subconscious mind not falling for it. So you're stuck and you procrastinating because that's not what you want. What do you want? I'm back in the gym. I'm working out several times a week. I do not want to go to the gym. You know what I want? I want to look good naked. I want to have stamina for adult activity. I want to be able to beat my son in a race for several more years. He 11 and he getting close. I want to be able to put it on his head. I'm not worried about no cholesterol. I might be eating 10 or 15 years right. I'm not worried about no cholesterol. I'm not worried about no A1C. I want to look good naked. I want to be at the beach with my shirt off. That's what I want. So that's what I'm gonna calibrate to. And when I calibrate to that, I'm gonna go to the gym on accident. Does that make sense? What's up, Divinity? What's up, baby? Y'all rocking with me? Cause the energy real low for how heavy we going. The taps real low. Ain't no way them taps ain't on 20,000. Come on now. This ain't no podcast. This a live stream. Y'all better interact. Is this stuff making sense? You can't get what you want until you know what you want. Appreciate the gifts. What's up, Divinity? Your only limit in life is your own imagination. Forget that. Let's put all of this in the first person. I can't get what I want until I know what I want. I say that. I can't get what I want until I know what I want. And I refuse to go to bed tonight without knowing what I want. I'm at least have that first layer of what I want. Knowing what I don't want is not the same thing as knowing what I want. My only limit in life is my own imagination. These are what I call blanketed affirmations. If you convince your nervous system, if you convince your endocrine system of these affirmations, you can do anything else you want to do. I can do anything I put my mind to. My only limit is me. Nobody don't gotta believe in me except for me. My mama don't gotta believe in me to be successful. My spouse don't gotta believe in me for me to be successful. My dad don't gotta believe in me for me to be successful. If they do, that's great, but it's not a prerequisite for my success. Only person that gotta believe in me is me. Only person that gotta believe in this vision is me. And if you waiting on your whole family to buy in before you willing to go for it, listen. Sometimes they can't see it. Sometimes you waiting on people who can't even believe in their own dreams, and you expect them to believe in yours. How they gonna believe in your dream when they can't even believe in their own dream? And then they saying, "Hey, you think you really think you can do that?" What they saying is, "I know I can't do that, so I'm pretty sure they can't." Stop listening to other people. They don't know. God gave you that vision. Of course, they can't see it. It's not their vision to see. And that don't make them bad people. I'm pretty sure they got their best interest, your best interest in heart, as they trying to talk you out of it. But I need you to stop talking to them about your business. Listen, the thing that you got to understand about ideas, y'all get me worked up. Hold on. The thing that you got to understand about ideas is you don't got to build the idea. You just got to give the idea an environment to exist. Like, let's look at when a woman gets pregnant, for example. She don't gotta build a baby. You've never seen a pregnant woman out looking for lungs and kidneys and hearts and brains. I gotta build my baby. I gotta build my baby. Anybody know about? She just gives the baby an environment to grow in. She allows the baby to grow inside of her, and by her giving that baby that environment to exist in, the baby finds its own brain. The baby builds its own lungs. The baby builds its own kidneys. The baby builds itself. She just provides the environment for it to exist in. Okay? It's the same way when you get an idea. If you just allow the idea to exist in you, if you just don't abort the idea and allow the idea to live in you, the business will name itself. The business plan will write itself. Your job is to not what if it to death. What if this happened? What if this happened? What if this? You aborting the idea. You don't gotta build the idea. You just gotta allow the idea to build itself inside. You gotta not focus on things that upset the idea. Like you might have to quit smoking cigarettes for a while. I'm using cigarettes as a metaphorical example for watching the news. You might have to quit drinking for a while. You gotta quit talking to your negative friend who can't ever see the positive side of it. You gotta stop doing that stuff while the baby builds itself. You gotta stop taking in negative associations long enough for because that's gonna kill your baby. I've been a hypnotist for a long time. You know how many people have come into my office to quit smoking? And one of the questions I'm asking is, have you ever quit smoking before? You know how many times I've heard, yes, I quit when I was pregnant. I say, well, what helped you quit when you were pregnant? They said it was easy when I was pregnant because I didn't want to hurt my baby. But right after I was done breastfeeding, I started right back. When they had this baby growing inside of them, they quit smoking on accident. They didn't have to try to quit smoking. They knew it would kill their baby. You got to stop doing things that you know going to kill your baby. And in this example, the baby is the idea. The baby is that business that you want to start. That baby is that dream that you want. That relationship that you want to have. That car that you want to drive. That business that you want to start. That body transformation that you want. That marriage that you want to save. That relationship with your child that you want to get back on track. For a period of time, you got to stop taking in ideas. You got to stop taking in media. You got to stop taking in suggestions that's killing your baby. I can't make it no plainer than that. But if you just allow that baby to keep growing inside of you, eventually that baby gonna get big enough that it's time for it to come out. Your water gonna break, and ready or not, here that baby comes. You're gonna either push it out or they're gonna cut it out of you. But once you let that idea sit in you for a period of time, that idea gonna pick up so much momentum that it's gonna force its way out of you. And you're gonna find yourself building a business on accident. You're gonna find yourself transforming your body on accident. You're gonna find yourself saving your marriage on accident. But at first, that you gotta allow the idea to grow in you. If you're trying to execute an idea that you haven't allowed to grow inside of you, it's like giving birth to a 1 month old fetus. Like it's not a baby yet. It's not ready to be born. It's very, very, very premature. Is not ready to be born yet. You haven't sat with it long enough. It hasn't sat inside of you long enough. It hasn't fed off of you long enough. It got to stay in there. But if you just keep letting it grow, if you just keep letting it pick up momentum, if you just don't what if it to death, it's gonna say, hey, I'm ready to come. Ready or not, here I come. Ready or not, here I come. Y'all, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Is this stuff making sense? Any questions? We done made it as plain can get. If you can think it, you can do it. If you can't think it, you can't do it. The good news is you can think it. It's gonna take a choice. First, you got to figure out what it is. And if you done hung with us this long, you need to get you a golden ticket. The golden tickets are free right now. They usually $1,200 a year. I got the golden tickets free right now. The golden ticket give you access to our private community. It give you access to our classroom. It give you access to our Zoom meetings. We got a Zoom meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to be in that meeting, get your golden ticket. Jay, where do I get the golden ticket? I'm glad you asked. You go to icoachbosses.com. I coach bosses, just like my TikTok name. icoachbosses.com. You're gonna fill out that form at the top, and that's gonna get you access to the golden ticket. You're gonna get a text message and an email, and that's gonna give you your login information for your golden ticket. If you plan on coming to our meeting tomorrow, before you come to our meeting, it would really behoove you to go into the classroom and take the course called Clarity. There's a 35 module course on clarity. If you show up to the meeting already having that course did, you will be prepared to join into the discussion. Even if you don't got time to do it, you can still come because listening to me discuss with other people and how we unpack with them, it's still gonna be transformational. But if you want your own personal transformation, you wanna be able to talk in terms of your goal, you're gonna want to do that clarity course before you come meet with us tomorrow. So before I go off, quick reinforcement. You could be, do, and have anything you desire. Your only limit is your own imagination. If you can hold it in your hands, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. But if you can't hold it in your head, you will never hold it in your hands. You can forget about it. Finito. It's done if you can't hold it in your head. But if you hold it in your head and you think about it long enough and hard enough, you will do it on accident. If you just get it in your mind and you keep sitting your mind there, your body gonna go over there on accident. Okay? I'm Coach Jay. I appreciate y'all attention, man. I honestly believe that your attention is the most valuable thing you could give somebody. Your attention is more valuable than money. When you learn how to use your attention on purpose, you can make money on accident. You can print money with your mind. I appreciate y'all for letting me borrow y'all attention. Hopefully, I've given you some stuff that's gonna help you get everything you desire. And I'll see y'all next time, man. If you haven't hit that follow button, fix it. But that's it. I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. I will see y'all tomorrow.